Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. And gosh dang, is that flag not white? That sticks out a lot, doesn't it? Once again, have a handy dandy book and quill for our episode. So for this episode, I don't have a concrete plan, or at least not as much as I did last episode, but that's fine. I do have an approximation of what I want to get done today. And I think since last episode, we spent a lot of time exploring and progressing the game a little bit. And by progressing the game, I mean dying in another. I want to spend some more time expanding, and not necessarily expanding, that's not the right word. I think the right word would be fleshing out our base here. And the first thing I actually want to do is this retaining wall here. So we put this in 2 episodes ago to kind of see how we feel about it, and I do like the actual wall. I think it's time we get to actually texturing it and making it look a bit nicer. And I think what we're going to do is I put andesite as a placeholder block, mainly because I really enjoy andesite. It's like one of my favorite blocks in the game. But I think it's a bit too bright in contrast to everything we have going up top, especially like with these cobblestone walls here. Andesite is a bit too clean, maybe modern feeling. Alright, now our base layer is replaced, and actually from here I do think I already like the stone bricks more. Let's go see how the look changes from over there. Actually, before we turn around, I like our initial walls for our gardens, but the more I've been looking at them, the more I think we're going to tweak them. I think the idea is there. Maybe they're a bit too messy. I'll have to see. I think that is an improvement for sure. And the more I'm looking at it, the more I've been thinking maybe this retaining wall could keep on going around here. Let's keep on working on the wall, and we'll keep that idea in the back of our minds. What do we think? I do think with it being darker, it does blend in with the whole area a bit more. I think it could be cool to extend it. Alright, so on at least 2 occasions this week, I woke up around 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:30, depending on the day. Not voluntarily. I just did, and then didn't fall asleep. Which is why the wall that we were maybe going to expand is actually pretty much been expanded. And I do think it was a good decision. It does feel like it's starting to make everything a bit more... I feel like cohesive is too used, but more put together. Especially like from this angle. And if you go over to here a bit more, we can kind of still see where our nether area is poking through. I think it's kind of cool. And the more I'm looking at it, the more I'm thinking about it, I do think we are going to like make an archway here eventually. And then continue this wall alongside this ridge here. And you might notice that this is just purely stone bricks. I just wanted to get it in to see how it felt. And I do think it's going to be a good addition. But I don't feel like texturing it right now, so we'll just leave it as is, and then we'll come back to it sometime. Maybe during the next weekly dose of Minecraft, who knows. For now, what I'd like to get to work on is our bridge here, and I have been thinking about redoing this path. But if we do redo it, I think the end of the path is still going to remain where that stone is right there. So I want to make a bridge that I've been thinking about since episode 2, just to link up these 2 parts of land together. And I did a little bit of testing in creative just to see. Testing might make it seem like I did more than I actually did. I still want the waterway to be usable by boat, so I want to be able to take my boat and go out over here and into the lake. I haven't really done so all that much, but I want to keep the possibility. What's cool is we actually only need to go up 1 block here to be able to go underneath it with the boat without taking any damage. Now, it's a bit of a tight fit, sure, but it fits nonetheless. So now for the fun part, which is going to actually be making the bridge. And sticking with the theme, I think we're going to do this all freehand and see what we come up with. And I think oak is going to be a nice base color for the bridge. I like spruce, but with our area, I think it might be a bit too dark. Alright, so I think this is a decent size. We are still technically in our starter area with our starter-ish gear. And realistically, we could have the bridge just be up on like this level and then we'd be fine. Though I would like it to not be totally straight. So we aren't working with very much space. Oop. I don't know if we raise this up if it's going to be too much. But looking at it, I think that's just right, actually. And I do think it's like a bit heavy-handed here, but I think it is coming together into something that could be pretty cool. Over here, I think this is just flush. Yeah. Alright, so here's the result with our current pattern kind of done throughout this one side. And it's not bad. I do like it, but it does feel kind of modular, and something about like having this being the same thing but higher kind of irks me. But I've had a thought maybe we could do is that right now this really is like 3 identical sections, just with this one being raised up. Maybe if we take these poles and then we bring this one back to here, so there's like 3 here. Same thing with this one, so that would leave us with 1, 2, 3 pole, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 pole. Yeah, so it'd all still be uneven numbers, but we'd have like smaller sections on the outside and then a larger midsection. Maybe that'd make the middle feel more important, kind of, and make it feel more raised and more curved. And even if we maintain the same building pattern, then maybe it'll just make it look less modular, since we have something other than 3 identical sides, or like 3 slices. Yeah, I think that does make quite a big difference. Just makes it feel more arched than it probably really is. Maybe what we could do, I just need to get my hand on some more oak. Maybe just this will make it curve even more so. I think I'll go ahead and complete the bridge on both sides, just so we can have it in, and then from there we could probably see how we can tweak it and add some details and make it look cooler. So I'm actually quite decently surprised with how much that actually helped out the bridge. Oh, we got another one. So I got it put in yesterday and then played a little bit, just like walking around, putting some of the wood away, and getting some views of it from various angles. And I do actually think our shape for our bridge, I like it. And for the area, I do think it like makes it just fit in more. It like makes it feel grounded. Something that's fun about this process rather than the old process going with Axiom is that I don't exactly know what we're going to end up with, just like you guys do. Unless, of course, you check the thumbnail. So when I start off these episodes, I don't know where we're going to end up. What things are going to look like. Now I'm going to fish a bit more just because it's fun, and I haven't done much of it. I've been thinking about lighting, what we're going to do for lighting around here, because it is a bit of a problem. I do like the nighttime in Minecraft, but it does get dangerous. And then lighting everything up, I don't usually have a problem with it. But I don't want to... Oop, another pufferfish. I don't want to like take these slabs off and put lanterns on here. Doesn't look bad, but I want to try something different. So in our little nether room here, we don't actually have any mob spawning. Maybe like around here at night, but none in there. And all we have in terms of lighting are the glowberries, and I think maybe the firefly bush counts as some lighting. So I'm thinking we could get some of that and try to maybe light up the surrounding area as much as we can with natural lighting, especially stuff like glowberries that's mostly going to appear at night. You know, I think that I am happy with the bridge. You know, for our first go at a handmade bridge, all in survival, I think it fits in quite well. Our whole world is very iterative. We just like build things and then we live with them for a while, and then we iterate, and then we add, and then we iterate, and it's fun. Now, just before nighttime, let's go see. We are day 216. Actually, we started at 187. Okay, so day 216, let's just add a little log that we finished the bridge for now. Day 216, there we go. So I think to cap off the episode, what we're going to do is something for these guys here. So I've been gathering materials from them every now and again, but in the first or second episode, whenever we got our first animals, maybe it was actually the third one, Oh, they're loud. We name tagged our 2 originals, and I checked last night, and I've managed to not accidentally slaughter our 2 original animals, but it's not easy to do when they're all packed in like that. I think it would actually be cool to keep them, so we're gonna have to find a safer spot for at least the 2 original ones, and for the other ones, well, they're gonna go in my belly. So I'm gonna have to go and see, probably wait till nighttime comes and get some spiders to get some string, because when I died in the nether last episode, I lost all my leads. So yeah, I'm gonna find a way to get some leads, and then we're gonna get our 4 originals and bring them out, maybe just tie them up here for now to be safe, call the rest of the herd, and see what we can build up for our OG animals. Alright, so I'm bringing you guys in a bit back, earlier a bit back than I had anticipated, and you might see some changes in the environment. That asterisk on vanilla is getting clearer and clearer. If I'm keeping the gameplay vanilla, I have been slowly adding back things that I used to have that I missed in terms of the aesthetics of the game. So better clouds, some fog control, and Voxy finally working in a decent way. So yeah, if you're interested, I'll leave, well, I may forget, but just ask me and I'll tell you. I'll try to leave what I actually am running in the description, but the reason I'm bringing everyone back is we've moved Wooly and Thatch and Mouton and Rufus, and we started building the little house for them, and I think we're sticking with Spruce. I think it changes up the colors a little bit, and Spruce is like such a nice colored wood, and all the blocks look so nice that you can kind of make a whole build out of it, and I think it looks nice. It doesn't feel like it's lacking texture. So yeah, we'll get back to that because now I'm at a little bit of a crossroads. The reason I'm bringing you back in so early is that the iron farm seems to be broken. So on 2 occasions, you can see like the residue here, I've blocked this off and I let these guys sleep for a whole night. And despite that, what is that? So that actually might be our problem right there. I was gonna say, despite that, we aren't getting any golems spawning. So I was coming to investigate and see what was happening. I think he should be too far, but he might be the cause of our problems. So let's actually just write it down anyways. Now, I think the easiest would probably be to do something like, block this off. Let's go back up here. I'm actually even surprised that, if this is a problem, that this guy is affecting the spawn rates, but it seems to be the most lucky candidate. This is right next to the farm. Oh! Alright. I guess it's fixed, kinda. Oh, and there's another one. Alright, seems like everything is okay. Okay, now I think we have something that is quite nice. Do you want to see? So here we are, the residents of Thatch and Rufus, and the residents of Mouton and Wooly. On here, we're keeping it quite simple since it's quite small, and I do want them to be like walking around out here. Actually, I did forget something, but I don't know if I actually have that. So if we have it, we'll add it. If not, we'll find some later. Just like a few. Let's say here. Yeah, and like here. Can I place this down? Yeah. Let's see. Here. How's that? We will, of course, get to cleaning up the surrounding area. I just don't know if we'll do that this episode. Probably not. We'll probably do it in some other episode. We're slowly but surely chiseling away at our area. I've started clearing out some trees because I think I am pretty much decided that this retainment wall, I don't know what the actual term is, is going to expand over here. So we're going to have a little arch to lead into our nether area. And this is going to continue all along here to kind of mark off our area. And then this area here is going to be more dedicated to the lake and the beach, I suppose. We're probably going to keep it more lakey, like more, yeah, think Canada's lakes more so than like an ocean beach. I think it'll be cool. So I've been clearing out the trees to kind of get an idea of how big our yard actually is and get that in place. I've been replanting them all pretty much on the top of the mountain for now. And that's pretty much my dedicated tree chopping area. All right, now everyone is moved in, and sadly, we did have to redesign the fences. I thought that with the hanging signs and the trapdoors, they couldn't jump over it, but the sheep escaped instantly. I also cleaned up a bit around the, like, outside of the little area just to make it not, like, sink into the mountain too much with all the dirt. Though we are going to come back eventually and make this look nicer, I just don't know what to do with it exactly yet. But now with this done, we really only have one more thing to do for the episode. And that is updating the map. So this is the current one. On the side of the house, we do have copies of specifically time-stamped ones. So this is when I decided to do the first one when we just had our little house in. This was maybe an episode later. When you start getting like the farmland in and some more paths, you can kind of see the beginning of the retaining wall here. There's a specific order to do this, so we're going to update these maps, and I'm suspecting it should still just be these two because the retaining wall is here, the bridge should be here, and the little farm area is here, and I haven't touched anything outside of this, I don't think, so we should be able to get these two, update them, and then duplicate them so we can timestamp some, and once again eventually have a museum or something where we can look at like a big timeline of the evolution of our base. So this should be the one with our base. Oh, that's pretty cool. The flag actually looks cooler on the map than it does in real well, in real life, in game. But I really like the way the bridge looks on the map. That's really cool. And you can kind of see the retaining wall joining up with the little, I guess, creek that leads into our nether area. All right, now for the other one. Yep, there it is up here. Just right to the left of my cursor is where the little farmland is. Awesome. Let's go and timestamp these. Or duplicate them and then timestamp them. Do this. Starter home, the date, and this is picture A. Okay. We just have to change the date. Almost a month later. Okay. Yep, cool. So the date is also good. My sounds are delayed for some reason. That's weird. Alright, and now with glass panes, which... do I have any glass? I should be able to lock two of the maps. I'll be right back. Right, so here we are. So we're going to lock this one. And then we need to lock this one. We're going to have to really make a better spot for this. But we can put our locked ones here for now. Yep, and you can already see like an evolution. So like this will look really cool if we get like a build specifically to see these side by side. But with our unlocked ones, let's go and place them back in our actual map location for now. Which now, looking at this, I think this is going to end up staying. Worst case, what we might have to do is just duplicate all of these maps and have this room be also somewhere else. But I do like having it in our little farm area here, which only has one farm. Yep, this is looking pretty cool. I like it a lot. Doing this and playing the way we're playing, I am going to go to the nether more and beat the game eventually because I do miss the elytra and our shulker boxes and stuff, but playing this way has been fun. Really fun. And it's crazy how fast the actual day count, which is like up right here, day 234, is going seemingly faster and faster as time goes on just by like doing these projects. Insane. But I think that is a good place to call it for today's episode, everyone. So if you have any ideas of what we should do with the flag, maybe leave me some ideas down in the comments, or if you just want to chat, I'll be down there too. And you might have noticed that like the retaining wall and stuff got bigger during the episode without us actually working on it. Actually, no, it got bigger with us working on it, but it got textured without us working on it. I started a weekly series that sometimes has more than one episode called Weekly Dose of Minecraft, which is basically just a little sub-series of either this, maybe I'll play some other Minecraft worlds, where it's just me playing, talking about something, pretty much one shot, and then uploaded. So maybe go give one of those a try. If you enjoy them, then know that they'll be coming out every week, kind of filling the space between these main episodes. Anyways, that's enough from me. I'll see you next time. See ya!